was in 1923 when radio was introduced in Australia, and with it came the promise of a revolution in education. There was then no requirement for Australian Broadcasting Corporation, or ABC, to produce and broadcast educational programs. The reference then to education only dealt with advertising. How broadcast radio was applied in education, you ask? Well, the formation of ABC was an attempt to establish a broadcasting system appropriate to Australia's needs. But no attempt was made to establish what these needs were. From the beginning, the ABC was aware of the need for entertainment, so it then undertook in BBC style to enlighten Australian society. BBC's managing director John Reith introduced and sustained educative and educational programming in Australia, saying that if good work is to be done, it must be done by pleasing listeners. Enlightenment for him must come through entertainment. Educational broadcasts and other programs designed to enlighten aims to develop side by side its two ideals of pleasing and benefiting, to contribute to the educational development and to appeal not to each section of the community but to all sections at all times. The earliest educational broadcasts in Australia were transmitted by radio station 2FC in Sydney in 1924. They were a series of half-hour programs broadcast on 4 afternoons per week and are designed to make pupils aware of the events around the world that would not otherwise come to their ears. The program was listened to by 13 schools. In 1929, ABC began transmitting a daily education hour for schools from 2 to 3 p.m. in Victoria. The first program in the series was a 15-minute talk on common errors in pronunciation delivered by Miss Alice Smith. Classification of educational methods were developed to be employed in broadcasting. One is straight radio lessons, where the broadcasting teacher is temporarily substituted for the regular classroom teacher. Radio talks, in which subjects of somewhat general interest are discussed for pupils in schools or for adults. Recitations or readings used chiefly in English classes or for instruction in foreign languages. Dialogues, interviews, debates, and conversations used to present contrasting points of view and permitting the method of question and answer. Dramatizations and plays for both children and adults, and musical programs with comments and explanations. Of all these, straight radio lesson and the radio talk were the dominant program types. Come mid-30s, the terms the teacher of the microphone and the broadcast teacher were used to describe the broadcaster. Despite the claim that the aim of educational broadcasting was not to replace personal instruction, the broadcaster did just that, taking over the class as a teacher and proceeding to instruct the students. ABC sought to take visual support for its school broadcasts. They combined the radio and the film strip projector and was first demonstrated in Victoria in May 1938, wherein a film strip projector was placed in the studio and operated by the broadcaster. As he flashed the picture on the screen, he gave a cue to the listening schools, which had projectors and duplicate strips of the film in the classrooms. They in turn changed from picture to picture on his instructions. By the end of 1939, audiovisual programs were being received by 120 Victorian schools from Melbourne and by an additional 150 schools around Australia on relay. So that's how educational broadcasting started in Australia.